Nobody said anything. Man. All right, thank you. First call to the public. Do we have any slips? You guys see it. Oh, Matthew Shepherd.
Next meeting, please.
Next meeting. Okay, very good. Any other public comment? Hearing none, we'll move right into this. Item number 4. Community Development Monthly Reports by Pete Preston. You guys saw him?
He's not gonna be here tonight, Chairman. He will be here available for questions at the committee level.
Okay,
We
on
did.
Wednesday. All right, well, just zipping right along. Item number 5. Review zoning ordinance number 18-11-08 for conformance to the board's action of November 8, 2018 and adopt for enactment and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support.
Okay.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor to move it on to the Wednesday meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The same? Motion moves forward. Item number 6, review and approve the agreement with Amalgam LLC to maintain digital parcel data for the county to pay Amalgam a maintenance fee, $5 per parcel for land divisions, land combinations, land description changes, and errors in the parcel map, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion?
I have a question. Is this just a renewal, or is this something entirely new?
This is entirely new.
And
What department said on equalization? And this was part of the, when we took on GIS countywide, the register was nice enough to help us through 18. Now we've got to take it on ourselves, so.
that's right. Now, what are we talking price-wise? I
I don't know, I missed the meeting, Larry was at the meeting, Tony, I think, was there.
I think it's the same thing that she paid, like 4,600 a year.
You have a representative
For
here.
here, we got a representative from
This
them.
part is just for the maintaining the mapping of parcels. I just charge $5 per parcel for new parcels that way. So that's a flat rate per parcel. So the cost can be variable depending on how many new splits there are in the county. A county with this many parcels, typically you're looking at between $1,500 to $5,000 per year, $5,000 per year. So, it would take a lot of splits to make $5,000.
No other fees?
There are no other fees related to mapping.
Now that, the mapping is just because when we get the GIS going, that mapping will only be one layer. But, and I think we got it scheduled for you guys to update that quarterly or something.
Yeah, it's basically open-ended as far as when you want updates done. And I've written the contract quarterly just to keep them updated in the public eye that way.
Because if we get on GIS and somebody goes on and wants to look at their parcel and if they don't have the split in there right, then they look at it a month later and the split's there, well, what's going on, that's what it is to update it. Now, the rest of the GIS is not ready yet, and we've not moved with that yet, that part.
Well, how long is that gonna take, you think?
We're talking next month.
Next month sometime.
Like 9 months from now? I feel like I have to be sold on this. I know it seems wrong, but $5,000 and, I mean, what are we getting out? We have statistics as to what we're getting out of this? Is something we gotta have? We do have to.
Yes.
Trust you.
Well, we should have, probably should have had it years ago.
Okay.
Just another thing we don't have that we probably need.
What's gonna happen?
This
once
is
we
that
get
GIS
this all
system.
done, we'll have different layers that we'll be able to use. You got the roads,
Yeah, I
you
understand.
got that, you got all the different, so this is just to keep the maps, parcel maps up to date so that we don't get too far behind. So that, it's gonna be for the public to view, look at this.
Do we have a website where that can be accessed?
We're gonna have,
Yeah.
Jackie here. to talk about that too, yeah.
Okay, I feel like I have to just.
Any other questions, concerns?
This is gonna go on for several years then? Is that it, to get it all done? Or-
The parcel map layer is done now. just a matter of maintaining it as new splits come in.
Oh,
You're keeping it updated.
So this is forever.
yeah, just keep it updated, right?
But it's forever.
It's just $5 per parcel if they do a land split, or if they combine a, merge a deed, or something like that.
Okay. All right then, if there's no more discussion, all in favor of this item, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Consider adopting resolution number, I love these, number 18 blank blank for enhanced access to public records pursuant to Public Act 462 of 1996 as amended.
So moved.
And support. Now we need an explanation from who's ever going to give us one.
Not from me. We'll put that one forward.
This is
Yeah.
part two.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so it's an enhanced access policy because land records are a public record. But the parcel mapping that you've done and you paid for and you just agreed to keep up to date, that's not, the county's paid for that. So the enhanced access policy protects the county from getting FOIA and have to give away that whole parcel there for free. So basically, the document the sample document I provided to the GIS group was something the state of Michigan put together for a previous project that they required. They were putting out grant money, so they required to have enhanced access policy. So in that project was road center line data. So road data is public information, but the GIS that you spend money to create does not. There's an enhanced access policy there to protect that from FOIA and control that.
Any other questions? There's no other questions. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward to Wednesday. Number 8, consider reappointing Richard Musson to the airport board for a 2-year term from January 1, 19 to December 31st, 2020, or until a successor is appointed and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion? I do recognize this gentleman's name.
He's the only guy that hasn't qualified for the last 20 years.
Okay. I thought his name was very familiar.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
He's given us a few reports.
What's that?
That lasted about 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good.
Yes, he earns
So we
it.
could have him here Wednesday if you'd like.
No.
To explain a little more? No, Thursday. Let's wait till Thursday. See. All right. If there's no more discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Number 9, consider appointing Daniel McMaster to the GLS Region 5 Planning and Development Committee for 1-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st. Yep, that's got to be a misprint. 19.
Is it
That's an
That would
year,
be,
only one.
that would not even be, that would be negative a month, no?
No, that's
From
one.
January 1st of 2019. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little ahead of myself. I'm thinking we're in 2019, sorry. To December 31st, 2019, or until a successor is appointed and authorized the board chair to execute all necessary documents
so moved?
and support. Any discussion? I only, and this isn't fair because Dan isn't here, he'd probably be embarrassed, but I wonder, did he volunteer for this? That he knows he's gonna be appointed?
Yeah, because he's kind of that, he's replacing the incoming commissioner. Sitting in that
There's only 2
position right
openings and
now.
there's only 2 applicants.
Yeah, there's only 2 openings.
The next one is the other guy.
And we seem to never fill it.
And
Still
I was
haven't
on,
elected
I was
official.
on this, and I know Dan was on it before me, and he was real thrilled about going to the meeting, that's why I was wondering if, did he
Oh,
really
really?
volunteer for this?
Oh, well.
It's not
It's
the
on
most
his list.
exciting committee, you know,
Okay, wow.
it's a,
Maybe him and Rick Mingo can get together.
There you go.
Okay, well, he's not here, so it's not fair. If there's no more discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Holy cow, this is a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. All right, consider appointing Rick Mengo to the GLS Region 5 Planning and Development Committee for a one-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, or until a successor is appointed and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same. Motion moves forward. Item 11, consider appointing Daniel McMaster to the Midwest Michigan Trail Authority representing Shiawassee County resident to fill a vacancy from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, or until a successor is appointed and authorized board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion?
He
Hearing none.
volunteered for that.
Oh, sorry.
He volunteered for that one too.
Did he? Yeah.
Some of these for the applicants, he was like the only one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So appreciate that, I guess.
Yeah, and I would hope that most of these were because there weren't any applicants, but,
Yeah, they are.
well, I would hope that. But anyway, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same. And I was an aye.
But we are still here 2 years later, still struggling to get
Correct.
a number of, yeah, it's tough.
All right. Item number 12. Consider reappointing Casey Elliott to the Solid Waste Management Committee representing environmental interest for a 2-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, or until a successor is appointed and authorized board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Item 13, consider reappointing Terry McLeod to the Solid Waste Management Committee representing the general public for a 2-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, or until a successor is appointed and authorized the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Item 14, consider reappointing Rick Crawford to the Solid Waste Management Committee representing solid waste industry for a 2-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, or until a successor is appointed and authorized the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Item 15, consider reappointing Gary Burt to the Solid Waste Management Committee representing Industrial Waste Generator for a 2-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, or until a successor is appointed and authorized the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion? And I know Gary very well. Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Item 16, consider reappointing Rob Frank to the Solid Waste Management Committee representing city government for a 2-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, until a successor is appointed and authorized board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Item 17, consider reappointing John Gall to the Solid Waste Management Committee representing solid waste industry for a 2-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2020, or until a successor is appointed and authorized board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same. And I would say aye on that. 4. Motion moves forward. Item 18, consider reappointing Cody Baker to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2021, or until a successor is appointed, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same. Motion moves forward. Item 19, consider appointing Renee Brown to the Parks and Recreation Commission to fill a vacancy from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, or until a successor is appointed, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same? Motion moves forward. Item number 20, we're almost there. Consider reappointing Daniel Ammerman to the Zoning Board of Appeals Board for a 3-year term from January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2021, or until a successor is appointed, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same? Motion moves forward. Item 21, consider appointing Joe Macias, is that how you say it, to the Zoning Board of Appeals as a member, leaving his current position as an alternate vacant. Current term ends 12/31/2020, or until a successor is appointed, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
And support. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same? Motion moves forward. Item number 22, this is a discussion item, appointments to the following boards/committees. And the topic is planning commission. Discussion. Who would like to start this discussion, because I am not aware of.
Okay, so I'll help. This is tough because each of these positions are like specifically required to have like a certain title. So for instance, one of the seats has to be seated by someone who owns an industrial zone.
Oh, yes.
Well, it
Facility.
always just represents that field.
Yeah, that field, yeah. So the only person we had that qualifies for that one is, his name is, his last name is Marks, Brian Marks, out of Durant.
Funny. Related?
I am related to Rick Crawford's nephew, so I'm not that closely related. He actually lives in Jervis District.
Yeah, lives in my district.
So because he is the
Great
only
Fusion.
person representing industrial, I would move to appoint him to the planning commission, because we gotta have one from industrial no matter what. Even though the optics looks like I'm pushing for him, is what it is.
Well, you know him, and
He's a good guy.
and you had the, and he has the qualifications.
Yeah, he does.
Doesn't really matter if he's related or not.
Sits on the SCDP, pro growth, so.
I believe there's 3 positions, that need to be filled.
Another,
Two of the current sitting members, one did not apply. I guess the letter did come in today, but had not applied when these went out. So that, it says, did not receive a letter of interest for reappointment from Robert Ebmeyer representing social. We did now receive it, but, I mean, if you guys want to consider him in the mix, but it wasn't in the, when we put these out. The other reappointment was representing government, was Tom Foster. He did send a letter asking to be reappointed. And then we had another individual interested in representing government, Michael Blackledge, Carolyn Stevens. And then representing social, we had one member, if you don't include Robert Ebmeyer, Roderick Hall, that was considering social. And then we had Rick Mangle also representing social, so I guess actually two for social, 2 for government, 3 if you consider Tom Foster, and then 1 for industrial. So we have a little bit of a mixed bag.
I don't know a lot of those names. I know Roderick Hall personally, good guy, and I would vouch for him. As the social, he was sat on the Durant City Chamber of Commerce for a number of years. He has been involved in the community a lot. I know he's going to make the meetings. I don't know anyone else. Blackledge, I know he would be an elected representative. He spoke recently at this last, he was the guy who gave all the statistics, if you remember. I remember, he's from Little Township. He came up and,
Oh, yeah.
that's Blackledge.
Maybe interesting to have a member from Woodall Township on the planning.
That could be interesting.
Could be.
That Rick Mingle, he's social too, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him, he's a good guy too. So. I think he's new, he'd like to be on, he's never been on it. And he says, oh, how do you get on those committees? I said, oh, you have to get down there and know somebody.
We did appoint him to GLS already today.
Yeah.
He's our GLS.
Tom Foster has been on
Tom Foster's been on the planning commission
So,
too. What does he represent,
so
the
there's some
elected?
experience there. He's going.
So
He's
who are,
on,
who
he's
are,
on the New Haven Township Board.
Yeah, maybe Township.
so our two from government are Foster and Blackledge.
And Carolyn Stevens.
Stevens. Oh, that,
I believe
okay.
that's Middlebury
Middlebury.
Township.
I suppose you could probably vouch for her.
Okay, she'd be solid, she'd come to the meetings and she's,
How many you gotta have for government?
We just need one.
So the government, I don't know these folks, but I certainly would like to plug for Rod Hall for the social.
Oh, for social.
I would plug for Rod personally. Resident of my district, is a good guy. So I don't know if you make a
Brian
motion.
Marks for industrial, Rod Hall sounds like social.
Yeah, I would, that's what my
Government
motion's
member.
gonna be. Now, we have to, they allow.
What was
these-
Ed Meyer? Wasn't he social?
Yes,
He was social, yeah.
yes, obviously I'm not pushing him.
When you're saying Rod,
Roderick, yeah,
is it Hall or Hull?
H-A-L-L.
Okay.
So how many you got for government?
Government, we have three. We have Tom Foster wanting to be reappointed. We have Carolyn Stevens from Middlebury Township and Michael Blackledge from Woodall Township.
And Carolyn, Brian Marks would be spelled with a Y. So now we just have to hammer out our government rep.
And I did work with Tom Foster on the planning commission. He's very involved. He doesn't just rubber stamp anything.
It's true.
I'd like to see somebody new on government. And there's a lady on
Put a lady on there.
there. Yeah.
No, Carolyn
I can't believe you
Stevens.
just said that out loud. Well, I'm gonna put my 2 cents worth in for Tom Foster. I think experience says a lot. And I know he's very involved and wants to continue doing it, but that's Ron Rooney.
You put me in a tough spot.
It's okay. No, it's government. Who's gonna be, well, I guess we don't know.
So we got three names,
We
three
don't know who's
qualified
gonna
folks.
represent the commission.
There's no
Because
way.
Dan's been on
Yeah, there's no way. Mike, it's not too late to throw your name in.
there. Oh, is that what you're waiting for?
Okay,
Why,
I'm the one who's gotta make the motion here.
Good idea.
so I'm gonna be a bad guy to somebody in this room no matter what.
Well, I'd get the two out of the way if you at least know those ones.
Yep, I would say Rod Hall for social, Brian Marks. So it comes down to Blackledge, Foster, Stevens.
And who did you say? Who did you like?
I don't know any of these folks.
Oh,
So Mike wants,
Foster.
well, I just put her name for it.
just go with it.
I mean, I think
She's on your board.
she'd do a fine job, I'm not
Gary ran
necessarily,
against Tom
that's up to the
Foster.
board to say, I'm not.
So
Oh,
that might not go well. And then I don't know Blackledge at all.
oh, that's why.
But he's from Woodall Township.
You know what? Woodall Township's taking a beating
Why?
from us. Maybe we'll just, I move Blackledge's name. That way someone's gotta be mad at me and
And
knows
is
what
this a normal appointment? This is not a reappointment?
This goes to Wednesday and it can be redone all over again. That's
Right. Well, it depends. Foster would be a real appointment.
Yeah, Foster would be.
Ed Meyer would be a real appointment. All the
Yeah.
rest are new names.
I mean, like I said, at the time we put our agendas out, we extended, I believe Casey extended the deadline from her original deadline an extra week. Still got nothing from the individual, and then it did come in today, so I mean, I'm putting it out there that he did want reappointment, even though he missed the deadline, just in case you want to consider, but, because if he goes, then we need a new appointment to zoning too. So, which the planning does anyway, so I guess it's not a big deal. So the planning commission determines their member anyways.
That's true.
So I would just,
I will move Blackledge, and then
So-
we can re-argue this all over again on Wednesday.
So this is still our meeting,
Yeah.
basically, so we have to
I'm
agree
the
on
only one
something.
who can make a motion. So,
that's
I'm
true.
sitting here like the black sheep trying to figure out,
Go ahead, do what you gotta
I'll move Blackledge,
do. No,
because he's from Wilton. You could vote no. Yeah, you could. Vote no.
so go ahead, big guy.
Yeah, no,
Make it-
that's right. Like I said, I have no skin in that game. You vote no. It's fine by me.
what are our planning commission terms? 3 years?
It seems like forever.
I think so, without going and checking.
But I'm certainly, I can't.
Because I believe the social member is going to be when we don't have the language in front of us, social member is going to be a full term. Obviously Tom Foster's, the government representative would be a full term. The industrial one would be filling a term that's been vacated, and that would only go until the end of next year. So only go to 12/31/19. So there's 2 3-year terms and one 1-year term.
So if it isn't decided today, it could be decided on Wednesday.
Yes.
With
Yeah,
the
it could
full-
be.
with the
And in fact, if we do decide something today, it can still be undone on Wednesday.
full. So,
And
let me get this clear, now Brian Marks is,
industrial,
I mean, that's the nomination.
right.
Okay.
He's
we,
the one.
we will do these individually,
You have to, yeah.
and government, you want to nominate Blackledge? Rich, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I guess so.
And social, we have Roderick Hall, and that's,
He's the only one.
so we take one at a time?
You can,
Okay.
on the one where you have 2, you got 2,
We actually have three,
oh, you got 3 possible ones.
3 government, 2 social.
But only 2 been nominated, right?
No one's been nominated.
Oh,
No motion's been made.
Not
for
yet.
it.
I just kept saying who I'm going to, and in about
yeah,
30 seconds, I'm gonna make.
Because if you did, you can have the vote be, you could, if like, you say you had 2 people, you could have the vote be a name,
Mhm.
you know, you could say the name.
But we have to agree. There's only 2 of us here, vote.
I suspect we're gonna get caught up on
The government
the
appointment.
government appointment. That's my
Well, then I'd make the other 2, at least make the other 2.
Let's make the other two. So what is the wording on this? What's the term here and everything?
Well, when we,
So you could say,
appoint
move to
Brian
appoint-
Marks.
you would move to appoint Brian Marks representing industrial to fill a vacant term from,
From January 1st, 2019 until,
well, technically, immediately. He would fill the term immediately until,
okay, fill the term immediately
From-
until,
from
when the 3
immediately
years we
to-
decided?
Um,
Yep.
if you're refilling a vacancy for industrial,
No, we're not
that's-
refilling.
No, that's new.
Yeah, there's an opening for industrial.
well, on my
We
sheet here, it
have a
says,
resignation,
yeah, it says the vacancy,
So
vacant
it's
term
a-
ends 12/31/19.
Okay.
yeah, 19.
So it would be effective immediately
Okay.
until 12/31/19 or until a successor is appointed for the industrial representative.
Okay.
So that's only a year term.
So I will move to appoint Brian Marks as the industrial rep on the planning commission, effective,
To fill a vacancy.
or to
Or
fill
vacant,
a
vacant.
vacant position, effective immediately until 12/31 of 20, or of 20, right?
2019.
19.
Of 19.
2019. Or until a successor is
Or
appointed
until
and
a successor.
authorized the board chair. That's all necessary documents.
Yeah.
Okay,
Support.
okay.
Any further discussion?
Caroline, if you need us to repeat that, we're happy to.
No,
I can see you're
It's
moving.
basically
Well,
the
because my
same word.
computer just keeps shutting off on me, so I'm having to do this manual, but it's basic wording.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, no more discussion. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same? Motion to appoint moves forward.
Alright, so I will now move to appoint Roderick Hall to the Planning Commission as the social rep
For a 3-year term.
for a 3-year term beginning January 1st, 2019.
Ending 12/31/21.
Okay, ending in 12/31/21. Or until a successor is appointed and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
Support. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same? All right. Roderick Hall moves forward to the Wednesday meeting for more discussion and vote.
And I would move to push all 3 of these names forward for discussion on Wednesday.
You're so good.
Right, good idea? That way we don't have to have hard feelings.
And that's your motion to?
Yeah, my motion is to move discussion item forward to Wednesday, when everybody's here, there's no sense
In
in us.
regards to filling the government position
Yeah.
for planning.
Yes.
I'll support that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, the same? Moves forward. Did you get that one, Caroline?
Yes,
Yeah, it's just discussion item for Wednesday. We'll pick with everybody here.
All right, we are at item number 23 in a very long agenda. Are there any other agenda items? Hearing none. Call to the public. And I understand you want to, next
I might
meeting?
make a brief comment.
Okay, sure.
I applied for numerous committee positions. Is there any opportunity that you have selected me to be considered, or am I just putting off to the side yet again?
Well, we haven't,
I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Phoenix, business management, 2 associate's degree from Langston Community College. I am not stupid.
do we have any other appointments, or are these all the?
All of
appointments?
tomorrow in appointments.
There's, yes,
Oh, yeah, whole
there are
lot.
others yet to come. So obviously I can't answer that because we're not there yet. You didn't apply for any of these positions?
Yes, sir.
So you did, okay. But there are other appointments tomorrow, is that, am I understanding that right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other items for the public? Hearing none, I adjourn this meeting. Done. Very good for me.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
That was, I mean, we had one for him,
Which is okay.
We should.
Or you can just put it through to the next, put it through to the Thursday night. Who's gonna be missing, Wednesday?
You were elected for 2 years. Well, I didn't look, so maybe I have a little different feeling.
All right, yeah.
This comes from various people within the county. And I've been, for most of the floor, it's all you guys.
okay, so on your folder for planning, you know, 11, 3, these 3 wait till under like commission, these 3 people forward, give their terms, take the wording.
So, you can answer that.
But in the
Real
future.
names are listed.
Gotcha.
The other 3,
Is he not gonna be here?
Oscar,
there will be
Carolyn,
No, it will be.
and Edmund.
That might as well.
Wednesday,
Oh. So that's So you're, no, I'm saying,
Yeah, he did. He's unfair. He was today.
so Rob, and
Not necessarily.
for the public.
And,
followers,
And-
Carolyn Stevens.
So you want all of them, okay. So those are the ones that
real guarantees.
These 3 are still up for discussion.
Broadway and Marks. They have separate, they have this, and then
They were,
the other
I
ones.
voted for
Foster, Blackledge, and
Carolyn are the ones under conversation.
Stu gonna have more
Okay,
discussion.
gotcha.
Very good to move on your part, by the way. Oh. You're right.
I don't even know black.
Well, if you were somebody else, Brandon, that's still, maybe I wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Brandon, Brandon,
Yes.
Oh, I could be.
you're not gonna make me mad. She was interested in some board, so I just.
This time we'll call the Finance Administration Committee to order. Everyone please rise. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. This time we'll call the public. Matt Shepard.
Over a few years, I've inquired on taxes of individuals that are in office for the public. I'm just wondering if there's any kind of bylaws or other law associated with a person not holding office if they refuse to pay their taxes. My understanding from Tom Dwyer, Delinquent Tax Fund has taken care of individuals' taxes that are associated well with this county. Any other individual ends up losing their house, losing their job, losing their property. So I would like to see if there's an entertain for a motion to investigate whether individuals are paying their taxes. And if they've had their taxes paid by the taxpayers' delinquent tax fund, until they are able to compensate the taxpayers for that delinquent tax fund, that they may not hold the office. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Call for the public? Yes.
Just a comment, about the budget. You guys cut out at large, you cut it down, took that all out there. Just remember that Mr. Gay will be coming eventually. You said we deal with it then, so.
Yes, we will consider it. We're still gonna,
Okay.
we'll be ready when we need to be.
Okay, yeah, we might be a year late.
All right, this time we'll move to consider approving the 2019 budget resolution 18 blank blank. Is there any way we can just go back and put the numbers in?
If you want to.
Yeah.
Then if they don't pass, then they've been numbered and we nothing got to do something with them. But that's all right, we can do
I
that.
just hate not knowing what it is, then it passes and then I don't know what the number is when I want to look it up.
All right.
You make the motion.
I will second the motion. Discussion.
Is there I will have a couple of questions, but I think I'm gonna just hold them until, I don't know that there's any point at this point. Maybe Wednesday or Wednesday's meeting. I just have, I'm not completely up on exactly what I want to ask and how I want to ask it, but there are a couple items in there that I do have a question or two about. It's not meant to upset anybody, I just have some serious questions. And also, the questions I have been raised by citizens. They're not just my concerns, but, you know, other people. So I feel it's my obligation to bring that forward so people can discuss it openly.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely been this process. It's been openly, open in public. We're not hiding anything. I think anybody that watches the camera has seen us go through this budget knows we were hit with MERS, knows that MERS came down, knows that we're dealing with it the best we can, knows we're still trying to move forward with our county-wide wage study. We're not trying to cut back our employees. We're not trying to cut back staffing levels. So, I mean, I think we've been very transparent in the process. Some of the numbers may not look good to what some people may be used to seeing, but, we've got a tough times call for tough decisions. And I think we've all been here and been here and understand that. We understand the delinquent tax fund and having to shore up some areas. I mean, most of the money from the delinquent tax fund is our MERS obligation. It's our cost of living. It's our MERS funded liabilities to begin with. It's some of the overhead for the 911 issue. And we just, it's hard to, being that that's kind of an isolated incident with 911 in the sheriff's office, it's hard to penalize our general fund and our other departments due to that massive cost. So it's unfortunate it comes out of delinquent tax. Cost of living is going to cost us for the next 15 years. I mean, that's not going away anytime soon. But then there is, the transferring from other funds is a little higher now. That is our building for our, out at the Griffin home. That final cost with parent ended up being $573,000. So, and there's a few others that have come in on that line item, but some items are looking a little bit different, but we also are, I don't know, I feel like I keep defending this budget, and we're doing the best we can with what we got, and I think the biggest thing from it is no one's been laid off, no one's gonna go without. There will be some items that maybe the department heads have realized I don't really need it this year. Sure, I'd like it, but they've been willing to work with us as far as, let's keep our staff, let's keep our people, let's keep our services rather than cut back. So I guess I'll welcome the questions on Wednesday.
Well, I mean, I can give you a little preview, but like I said, I'm not totally prepared, but
Yeah.
it's in regards to the emergency management position
Okay.
and a potential planner position. I mean, we've already added an administrative position, which is an item we haven't had for a very long time. And I guess there's some concerns out there that, how many positions are we gonna keep adding to the payroll, particularly in regards to the emergency management position that we had at one time. And I know, I know enough about that history that, I don't want to go into a debate on personnel issues and all that kind of stuff, but the fact that we had one and we had a full-time and then they went to part-time and we had a planner and then we didn't have a planner because we went to part-time, what's different now? And you don't have to answer this now. I mean, it's not your personal responsibility to answer it anyway, but those are some of the questions that are out there that, what's different? What's different now than what we had, well, gosh, it was within 2 years because it was during my term. But I don't think anyone was full-time when I was, during this past 2 years. But that position seems to flip-flop around. And of course, the almost double salary for the same position that was there before. I think it was in the 48,000 range, and this one is in the 87,000 range, which is a significant increase. I know the individual, that's being looked at or considered a wonderful person. Nothing personal there. Totally qualified, but can we really afford adding that position? Is that an affordable thing to do? And then along with that comes another potential position. Can we afford that too? Shoot, I don't even think we can afford mine, you know, but, no, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Thank you.
But, I mean, it's another position, so,
Well, that
You know,
position,
how far
that
can we-
position is 100% funded.
which,
The additional position, planner, won't cost us a dime.
is that federally funded?
Yeah, that's funded through that. The only reason you get afforded that, and it won't be a planner that we have 40 hours a week that's here every day. I believe what they've done when they cut back on this Homeland Security grant money is that they cut the state of the districts. Certain counties will share planners and share people to help, you know, carry on the load and help with some of the administrative, some of the day-to-day stuff. So it's not gonna be like it was when we had somebody sitting here. And back when, I know your predecessor was really looking into it with the budget and found that the planner ended up doing the emergency manager's job in most cases, and we weren't really getting it then, and we just laid off deputies, we didn't really have the money then. We're in a tough spot. Yeah, it looks bad that now we're considering bringing it back, but I think it's one of those things that was never meant to always be part-time or gotten rid of, at least in my mind. And trust me, I was one of the 4 that said, no, we didn't want to go back to full-time right now, we just didn't have it in the budget, we didn't have the time or the money for it. So, I mean, I was a no-go, and I consider myself a little bit more, not against you guys, I just think I've got an education myself, seeing it in action and seeing some of the savings to our local emergency services, our fire services. I mean, alone, I believe there was helmets, there was vests, you know, that our emergency manager provided through grants, got through grants that these other agencies wouldn't even have been provided. It was thousands of dollars that all of these agencies now have, that they can upgrade, that they can be ready, that they can be more prepared for school shootings, for active shooter violence, which, you know, I know we live in Shiawassee County in a bubble, but that's reality, that, you know, that could happen at any time, you know, and it does happen anywhere. And not that I'm, you know, we should all run and be scared, but, you know, these kind of things happen, and I think being prepared, and, I mean, we've been getting a full-time person almost for 2 years that the individual's been on, and I mean, I don't want to go over his resume over and over again, but I mean, I think we're.
Oh, I'm well aware of it.
Oh, no, I know you know that, I
don't have any objection to the individual. It's a pretty hefty salary, and it's just a budget issue in my mind.
Yeah, it is.
It's a money thing. What, do we have it? Or are we planning, I mean, is our income increasing in the next couple of years? And can we really afford this? If it's been looked at thoroughly and convinced that we can afford this kind of increase, then I don't have any objection to it. But if it's a wish that we can afford it, and we hope we can afford it in the future because it really is a necessary position, then
I think it's sustainable, and I mean, again, our numbers are tight right now, but again, we also are working with community development and that, and equalization, that those are very conservative numbers. We didn't want to go what we didn't even project as what it probably will be. I mean, we're trying to be in the ballpark, but we want to be being extra conservative on this end. So, we foresee there being wiggle room in the future next year to make some budget adjustments or amendments. But right now, just to get it out there, get things assigned, and get things set up, I mean, the wage study was a big takeout.
Sure.
That was
and
something.
that was another question that I had.
Yeah.
Did that play a part in it? And I assume it did. But wow, double
Oh, yeah.
is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Double what it was 3-4 years ago. I don't realize things change, but that's a lot of money. And then on top of the MERS thing, that's on everybody's mind. I mean, that's something we have to deal with. It's money that has to be spent. It's a huge chunk of money. And then to add a new position or renew a position.
But there'll be no retirement, there'll be no benefits to this position. This person already has all the necessary benefits, it has everything. So we're not providing any type of benefits beyond just a salary or being here 40 hours a week. But the benefits that do go with it being 40 hours a week, I mean, we do know we get 33% of all that back to us, whatever we pay into that 33%. So it's not 100% cost out to us. On our books, it appears as 100% cost out to us because we're, reimbursed throughout the year. But So, no, all valid concerns. We knew that would obviously be something that would be type of concern, you know, going from part-time to full-time, so.
That's primarily it. I may have some other things. That was the biggie.
All right. Commissioner?
I also had a concern about it, when he took the job, it was offered part-time and he was 100% happy and we got by with it, so I don't know how come that, all of a sudden it changed that much. I mean, I don't have anything against him personally either, but it doesn't look good for all the other employees that all of a sudden you gotta have somebody
All the
full-time.
other, we mean?
You have to have somebody full-time.
Anything else? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion will move on to Wednesday. Entertain a motion to consider authorizing the annual agreement for extension services with Michigan State University funded by voter-approved millage assessment and authorize board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
I will support that. Do we have any discussion? Anything? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion will move to Wednesday. Consider authorizing the register of deeds to proceed with a preservation and digitization project on recorded plats and co-file technologies in the amount of $94,937.50 to be paid from the Register of Deeds Automation Fund, number 256-268-970.000, and authorize the board chair to execute all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion on this item? Register. Would you like anything?
Any questions? Just noted that none of this money is coming out of the general fund. This is what this fund is for.
Yeah, no, nothing. I'm good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We'll move to Wednesday. Consider authorizing the sheriff's office to purchase one 2019 police Charger all-wheel drive car from Slingerland Chrysler in the amount of $25,407, with $20,000 to be paid from account number 101-333-718.000 and $5,407 to be paid from account number 101-333-860.000.
So moved.
I will second that. Any discussion on this item?
Am I able to, I didn't even realize I'm not part of the committee, so
Yeah.
I really don't have a.
Good.
Is this to replace the vehicle or is this an additional vehicle?
This, I believe.
This vehicle, the one Deputy Lawson's driving, got 114,000 on it. We just replaced the front end on it. He wants to continue to have the Charger, so we're going to give him a newer Charger that's currently in the fleet, and this will be replacing that one that goes to him.
All right. Anything else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion to move on to Wednesday. Agenda item 8, consider approval of 2-year contract for shared technology support services with the Shiawassee Regional Education Service District and the Shiawassee County Sheriff's Office at a cost of $75,000 per year to replace the current contract with NetSource One and authorize the sheriff to sign all necessary documents.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? The sheriff want to give us anything on this? This is a savings.
It's about $30,000 savings from where we're at right now. Jackie's met with us and we provide all the services we have now and maybe more at no additional cost. So we think that there will be substantial savings to it. We've always had a great working relationship. Nothing they haven't been able to handle, especially in times of emergency. So we're looking forward to that partnership.
Good. Anything, Jackie? Appreciate it. Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion will move on to Wednesday. Agenda item 9, consider approval of a 3-year contract with Zix to provide services to the county for secure email archiving, email spam filtering, and email encryption at an annual cost of $8,331.50 to replace the current contract with Barracuda to be paid from account number 258-970.000.
So moved.
Support, you know, these, they always hit us with these 50 cents, you know, 25 cents, 13 cents, you know. Anything to add?
We received the renewal cost from Barracuda, and they had jumped up by 30% from our time of purchase just back in April. So at that point, we felt that it would be in the county's best interest for us to go out there and look at other providers at a lower cost. So we had 2 other quotes that came in, well, one besides Zic. And the other one was almost fell in the same ballpark as Barracuda, but with Zic, we actually did a web demo with them on Friday. And they have additional features that that we liked. So with the lower cost that we're going to get, you know, we're saving $2,000 per year, and those additional features, we just thought it would be in our best interest to move on and lock ourselves in for the 3 years. Otherwise, you know, so we're saving probably about $5,000-6,000 over the course of the next 3 years.
Great. Anything to add? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? This moves on to Wednesday. Agenda item 10, consider approving the 2019 county holidays.
So moved.
So moved. I will support it. Yeah, they are, this year they are New Year's Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, Day after Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day.
Is there an Indigenous Peoples Day on there?
No, I left off about another 8 of them. Martin Luther King's birthday, Good Friday.
I'll be the guy to say, why in the world do we give Indigenous Peoples Day off? That used to be
Independence Day,
Columbus Day,
Columbus Day,
right?
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Right, so we're celebrating Columbus, who slaughtered millions of people, fine. So we switched it. Maybe we just shouldn't celebrate the day at all.
Are you a teacher?
I am. We don't get it off. I'm union. So I just wonder, is that something we really need?
Yep.
So I would say, I don't
You
like
say,
that.
you say, I don't know, I think.
And I'm voting no. No question.
Oh, man. You know, if you vote no, then it fails.
It's dead.
Oh, man.
It is dead.
Oof.
Well, it goes back on. A lot of motion.
All those in favor of the 2019 county holiday schedule, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion will go on to Wednesday.
You guys are all worried, don't you?
I was wondering how
You
many
guys are
people-
panicked.
I wonder how many people were looking, I only read off like 8 holidays, you know?
Yeah, true.
Uh,
I have another agenda item very quickly. Speaking of Barracuda, what is Barracuda Fish Line? You guys ever heard of such a thing?
I'm sorry?
Barracuda Fish Line, I assume it's the same company?
I have not heard of them. The only thing that I can think of is that they're just like a service that they're providing for anti-fishing.
Yes,
Yes,
that's right. And so I wonder if we had such a program.
we do. That is part of the service that we have through Zic. And with Barracuda, we had it. Now, what is really nice about Zic that we have found out is that this is going to not only help us protect us against the phishing emails that we're getting, but you know, when you get an email in and you're looking at it and it looks like it's from somebody that you know and they give you that link,
Yes.
what Zic will do is they'll go out there every time you click on that link. So it's going to kind of delay things just a little bit because you're going to see it scanning through to make sure that that link is actually legitimate. So what's happening right now is we may whitelist some of these emails that are coming in because they are from legitimate ones and we have to allow them in. But when they put a link in there, we have no idea if it's valid or not, if they, you know, somebody's hijacked it. Whereas this one here is going to continually make sure that we're not getting caught into the phishing.
So this isn't necessarily something that would prevent in our situation. This pertains directly to links, you don't click on links. Right?
Correct. But with the emails with the phishing, they are, what they say, almost like 95%, 98%.
Do they send out like test false ones and try to catch us?
We have done that. We have done it through the RESD. We sent them out
I
and,
would love to have that happen often, considering
can
what
do that.
happened to us last year with
correct.
being victims.
Yes, yes. So we did that not long ago and we did send out the report to the department heads. Zic will also give us educational training as well, so.
Okay, cool. All right, well, That's all I wanted to know about that. Thank you.
Any other agenda items? I do have one. Yes, sir. And it's more of a discussion than anything else. Strangely enough, my last month as a commissioner has already been more busy than the last 6 months with phone calls and contacts. And actually, this is more directed toward Caroline, and it is not an attack. I just want to put that right out there.
I know what's coming.
Oh, okay. You do know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I was enlightened last week at one of my township meetings, and of course, it sounded like a horror story last week. And it's in regards to, Gary, you might want to hear this one. But if not, you will hear about it.
I can stand up to take it, so.
Anyway, the bottom line was the surprise of the considerably higher election bills. And and it was like, well, we never got this before, and we never this, and this, and this. This is what I heard from at a township level in the beginning. And I thought, holy cow, this is big. So I took it upon myself. The rest of my township meetings are tonight, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I actually approached people, and I went to Shiawassee Township and spoke with Pat. I went to and talked with Amy Kirkland to get. I always run back to Amy for. She's always been extremely helpful in helping me understand. And it's not that I didn't want to run to you, but the slam was on you.
Oh, no, right.
So I thought, well, let me get a little more background information. Most every question has been resolved in my mind. It's not an issue. The only one that hasn't been fully resolved, the reason has been resolved. What's come up is that they're getting these higher bills that they did not anticipate, which directly affects their budget, and especially this time of year. I know Fairfield Township, they were very proud of the fact that they were a few $100s under budget this year, and then they got this bill for $1,400. Messed their budget up a little bit, not critically. Shiawassee Township, I think their bill was $3,700. Owasso was just shy of $6,000, all of which were higher than any of the other bills. What I have learned, so you don't even have to answer this question, is that a lot of the additional expense was, one, it was an exceptionally large election, both of them. Large turnouts, had to pay a lot of extra people, do a lot of extra things. But it appears as though the biggest increase in expense was, and forgive me if I don't know what I'm talking about exactly, because I don't, it's about programming cards. And I guess that had been done in the past, in the latter years, by the previous clerk. And this time it was contracted, is my understanding. And if that's right, then cool, I've done my research. My only question would be that why didn't the clerks know they were going to get this bigger bill in advance? And is it something that's correctable? And I want to be able to take that back to the various townships. I will have to make a call at Fairfield. But I'm attending 3 township meetings, and I know it's going to come up.
Right. Well, we knew there would be blowback because we didn't necessarily have an idea what the bills were going to be as far as the programming. Programming is very complicated, and they are charged per ballot style. We had 72 different ballot styles. Unfortunately, some of the precincts have more ballot styles. A couple of them have 5, and that's out of our control as to what's on. There is nothing we can do to correct it. You need to know that they never were charged anything in January of in 17 at all for any of the elections because we didn't know that we could, so I didn't. So they got a free year. been getting asked by clerks, when are we gonna get our bills, when are we gonna get our bills? So, with all the other deadlines, you know, it's like we wanted to definitely get these out. I did not necessarily know what those costs were going to be for the programming. They are cheaper, they dropped their price, because what happened was the Bureau, when they brought on their new QVF, qualified voter file, it was supposed to have this wonderful feature called exporting of all the information that we input as the county level, of all the candidates and everything, and that the programmers were able to import into their system, and it was supposed to be something that, of course, would work beautifully, not as much programming or anything like that. Well, it's not working. And so that is, of course, one of the costs, because we called and said, whoa, and then it was explained to us as well that that feature is not working, in turn, more programming, in turn.
So there was additional programming above and beyond what normally had been done in the past.
What they were anticipating. I mean, we knew in August that the importing wasn't working. So, but then bills don't start coming until after, and we're so focused on doing for November that we were just, because we knew we had seen previous bills that August and November would be charged at the same time, so we just followed suit, and of course, not necessarily having the time to bill on them. So yes, I mean, it's unfortunate that the clerks, because they didn't get anything in 2017.
And I did get that comment. Well, we weren't charged for this before.
Well,
Why are we charged now?
and the programming is about $100 more than what used to be charged when Lori used to do it. Now,
Well, there was a little bit more than that. For example, Wausau Township, theirs was $1,000 more than the previous election. So
I don't know how, I mean, I have examples of invoices that were sent to clerks from since 2012.
Right.
And so we charged them for the exact same things that were charged for in the past. And so that additional cost is that programming. And Owasso Charter had a couple different ballot styles. So
3 precincts, you said.
that, I mean, and that adds to their cost.
Yeah, I
Listen,
don't
one
claim to
called
understand it.
and
I
said
really don't
that-
claim to understand it. I just want to be able to, when I
Right.
do ask the question, is it a correctable situation? Is it going to be better next election, or is it going to be the same, or worse, or more? Or
Those costs will be the same per the elections, but this election involves school boards, which involved the different ballot styles. That's the change.
Oh.
So the 2019, they'll have a lower cost. 2020, they better brace themselves, because you can have potentially up to 4 elections. I mean, and there's a lot with.
Are there any elections coming up, special elections that you're aware of next year?
I do know New Lothrop has been the only one I've heard about. And
Because those are some other questions I was given, or asked, and it just, they're a little antsy. You're probably receiving phone calls, or maybe you're not, but I'm just not really warning. It's not terrible. I mean, everybody's been pretty pleasant. They're just a little upset with the cost. At least my 4 townships.
I understand.
And I'm guessing when you guys go to your meetings, you might get hit with that when they go over the budget stuff.
Well, and it's really the ones that have been with the more ballot styles. Those are the ones that.
Well, so far, everybody's up that I've spoken in my
A little,
district.
yes, it is a little bit higher for that programming,
And some are complaining louder than others.
yes.
So I just want to be able to go back and say, well, now I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going to have to say, well, it could be the same, it could be worse. I'm not sure.
Mike, there's a lot of costs incurred, things are getting more techy, and the integrity of the elections is under scrutinization from the public and what have you, and like the county, we paid $500 just for us to get the whole link, for us to be able to do things to where we're uploading different results. I mean, and that's every election, we're gonna get hit with that cost.
Were there any new charges added to what you normally would charge a township? or just increasing costs other than the programming
It is
charge?
really the programming that dinged them.
And does it have, is it related at all to the new machines? Because I'm getting that question too. You know, I mean, I know that it has to be programmed by that company that produces the machines or whatever, I'm assuming. But if we had the old machines, would the cost be similar?
I have no idea.
Because some people say, well, it's damn new machines, you know?
I know they're blaming the machines, but you have to have the programming for each. I can check with the other vendors to see what their rates are. I can find that out. But I did not do programming, and
Is the, and again, I mean, I'm lame duck here, but in the future, is there a possibility that you will ever take on that programming piece where you can program the cards? Is that something that
it's not
you're
the
looking at?
It's not the programming of the cards, because we do that. We have a link. It's the development of creating the whole entire ballot. That's the programming that they're getting dinged with.
Oh.
Because that link that we have to pay the $500 for, we are individually programming all their different cards with their different ballot styles. They're getting hit with the creation of the ballot, basically. And when you have a two-sided ballot with 4 columns, that is a lot. And there was a lot on this,
Right.
this ballot this time.
And that has to be done by the company, right? Is it not something?
It does
you-
not have to be. It was strongly suggested to me with me coming on and everything I was learning,
Right.
they wouldn't even, they're like, it is so stressful.
But that's
So-
why I'm asking, because they're asking, you know.
It is
and-
something I would look at down the road,
Okay.
not my first term. There's
Right,
too
and
much.
I don't think there was any question that they expected you to learn something brand new like that for this. I think the question will come up, well, is this always gonna be the case, or will she, well, it's already come up once, one question has been raised, will she be doing this in the future? You
Right.
be programming in the future to save maybe that cost? Or if you do the programming, do you pass that cost on? And if you do, I'll just tell you what they're gonna say. But she's already paid to do the job. I'm just telling you.
And that's
I'm just
one
telling
of,
you.
and to answer that question, I'm not mandated. And that is one of the reasons why, it's a tremendous amount of stress.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then already just doing an election in the ballot group, and I was at a legislative meeting today, and many clerks are talking about the processing and the stress that every single one of us are under, because we do count and need help from our locals, and they don't have any accountability. Everything always falls back on the county. And so it's that collaborative team effort that we're all trying to kind of create.
And that was my last point, and then I'll shut up. Is there a possibility, maybe you already do this, I don't know, and I'm certainly not telling you how to do your job, or the clerk's job, or any county job, or any township job, but it seems like they're not, so far, what I've learned is that it doesn't sound like they're on the same wavelength as you. Is there a possibility that there's like quarterly or semi-annual meetings where you all, clerks and everybody starts exchanging ideas? Because everybody's got their ideas on how to save money. So I can promise you that, and I could not regurgitate it back to you right now the way they told me, but everybody has ideas. And I said, well, don't you guys ever get together?
We
You
do.
know, and meet, you know, so maybe you could hash these things out.
I'm not the one that organizes the local clerk, but we did do a mandatory meeting after the August election. And I had a mandatory meeting, and I still had like 6 clerks that failed to appear. And, but everyone else did. We had good collaborative conversation about different things. And we've talked about doing one. December's a busy month, so with after the November election, because it was so large to talk about some equipment issues and things like that. But we'll probably look at doing that in January. So I've talked to Amy and Shar from Vernon. Those are the 2 that really organize those. But we try, and we send out a lot of emails, And we're always willing for conversations and phone calls, but those phone calls don't necessarily come to us before they go to others.
Okay, that's very helpful. Now I feel somewhat educated, so when I go to my township meetings, I can maybe answer some questions. So I appreciate it. I know it's long, boring for most people, but I'm getting the questions, and I promise you guys are gonna get them too when you go to your township meetings.
It's a big process. And on the county end, I mean, to create that ballot and the ballot grouping and the ordering, and, I mean, it's a lot. And then they have theirs that steps up to their responsibilities that they have for the voters.
Right. Thanks.
Thanks for asking.
That's it.
All right, anything else? We'll move to last call, the public to address the finance committee at this time.
Are you guys gonna set a public hearing on the budget?
Yes. Should be Wednesday at what?
Yeah, I was thinking of that during the meeting, and I think we missed it. I think you're supposed to do it a month ahead of time. Don't you have to have a number of weeks before a hearing?
18 hours.
Yeah, well, no, that's the notice.
Not for a public hearing. They're usually 17 days.
I don't think,
We usually
I don't
say-
think it's that long, but I'll check. We'll just find out.
So if we did miss it,
Well, if we did, we did. I mean, you know, those things,
Move it to January.
you can't just not pass the budget because they had the public hearing too close, but, we'll find out.
I do think it's
I
their.
have to pass it on.
notice our chairman's still not here.
He's in Florida. He'll be here for
I bet
the
he is.
committee of the whole.
We're missing deadlines.
That
Oh,
was
Lord.
gonna go on and on, yeah.
Lori was,
Yes.
Call the public still.
Yes. Go for it.
I have budget questions, 2018 and 2019. I can either address them now or in the
Now is
meeting
good.
adjourned.
Go for it.
So my contract line item that is my big deal, since it's cut down so small, I've got that money earmarked where it has to go. And I just found out that all of a sudden, the merchant bank card fees have come out of my contracts for this year, backdated to January. This has just happened. So I'm already short in that line item. I've still got 3 more bills to pay. I'm gonna continue to use that line item. I don't know where the money's coming from, because all of my line items are spent. So, you know, and again, my budget's not a huge, big budget, so it's not a bunch of money, but we, as department heads, need to know that before you just start yanking money out of our line items that have already been promised and earmarked someplace else.
So is this
So-
new, is this new or?
Yeah,
is it-
yeah.
okay.
In my, I just noticed it last week. I emailed you guys. I emailed finance, Mr. Herendeen, and the finance person, whoever that still may be or not, because I'm very concerned. So then in moving forward in the 2019 budget, if you're gonna do that, I need that money added into my contract line item because I'm already at my bare minimum on contracts. And these are contracts that I have to,
Yeah. And we were trying to get you out of your
yeah,
other fund too.
right.
Great.
It just keeps,
So where did this come from?
She asked about
The merchant fees.
right, and she did mention that she would like to know ahead of time if they're gonna be taken. We'll have to talk to Cindy.
I mean,
Well,
this
now
is,
we gotta know how many others this is just.
it should have, I mean, if it's the merchant numbers that I provide to her on a monthly basis that I had to go back and get a statement, it's 6 departments. Circuit court.
Well, you know, I'm getting tired of all the damn surprises that keep coming up. What's going on here? We're paying for an administration office and we don't have anything in it. I get a new budget every time I come in here. Does anyone else have anything from public? We'll address your concerns, but these continue to happen every single time. We've looked like the biggest bunch of bozo clown idiots, and we've got more people in administration, more people in this staffing office, and we're not doing shit. It's embarrassing to go to meetings and have to present this. I gotta present $1.5 million out of delinquent tax because we don't know what the hell we're doing. This is just embarrassing after a while. Mr. Shepherd, go ahead.
Well, it ties right in with the same thing. Do we want to continue to allow appointed and elected officials go without having to pay their taxes when other individuals throughout this county are mandated to? No proposals were made on that issue.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
Lori, we will get with you. I apologize for all of the, just, surprise after surprise. Maybe something will happen again tomorrow. Everybody will be shocked about that. If anyone doesn't have anything else, we'll be adjourned at this time. I thank everyone that attended.
What's the proposing? The proposing.